OTT, something different. The last two letters are crosses, the O is Eucharistic. She's just terrific. She was with me all my life, but I must have missed it. She turned my cell into a cloister. Now I am a mystic. She is like a therapist, but she's way better than that, at giving peace and bliss when I have a spaz attack. You down with OTT? You know me. You down with OTT? You know me. You down with OTT? You know me. Who's down with OTT? Everybody that wants to be. She rocks me back and forth when I'm feeling sleepy. She loves me though I'm sickly, and others think I'm creepy. She tucks me under the covers, just like the Blessed Mother. So this is the thing. Janice Ott is interesting because I had a dream about her. She was a probation officer, okay? And it's really sad that you wouldn't think a probation officer or someone working for the probation department would get in the car with some stranger like that, saying taking her out to the, whatever. So she became one of two people that was abducted. One of them had to watch the other one die at Lake Sammamish. And both of these figures are very significant because, so Janice Ott, I had a dream. I was at an IRS facility because I jumped off a 3-story building over somebody, and it had to do with supernatural religious reasons. Spending 10 weeks in a wheelchair, and all this shattered bones was in my urethra, so they had to do surgery. So I was urinating blood clots that were larger than marbles, too. Screaming in agony. It was really bad. I was wearing Depends drenched in blood. I was leaving trails of blood on the floor. I mean, that if that was what it was like when a woman has her period, then the janitors cleaning up at the schools, it would be like cleaning up a freaking Columbine crime scene to tell everybody, if you got your period, go home. Do not go to your boyfriend's house. Do not. I mean, what the hell are you going to do? And so I felt like I was kind of atoning for the sins of God. He causes women to menstruate, and then he blames them for it in the scriptures, and he shames them for it. I mean, he acts like Ted Bundy, giving women their labor pains, torturing them to death between the legs because Eve was a female, and for a crime they didn't commit. So blaming somebody else and saying she's unclean, everything she touches is unclean, to the point where men were kicking their wives out of their house while they're having their period. If that makes a woman unclean, then God should be far more unclean, and he should everything he touches should be considered defiled, because he's forcing something that he says is unclean upon somebody for no freaking reason, and then saying everything she touches is defiled, unclean, and it's causing people to persecute and treat these women like shit, kick them out of the house, all this other stuff. So, Janice Ott, I had this dream. She was a probation officer, worked for probation. I happened to be on probation, and in the dream, I can't remember exactly what she was asking me to do now, but it was an interview. I guess I had broken some kind of a law, and so she was interrogating me. I think she was actually even doing a strip search, if I remember, like the police will do a strip search on, make you take your clothes off when you go to jail and stuff. And so I wake up from the dream and I go for a walk, and I find a shrine to John T. Scanlon, and he was gunned down on February 14th. And February 14th happens to be Janice Ott's birthday as Aquarius, okay? Aquarius is the zodiac for Andrew Pollock, Meadow Jade's father, and also Aquarius happens to be assigned to the Apostle St. Matthew, who I'm named after. And I apologize. I get a little too excited, too hyper, and I got a lot of brain damage. I jumped off a 3-story building, and I already had brain damage before that, drug overdoses and things like that, but I didn't wake up until after they had already done surgery on multiple broken bones. So try to understand that sometimes a person who's really annoying and really messed up and hard to be around, it can be a result of something that very terrible that has been happening, and childhood can be really screwed up. It's really sad. That's one reason why you shouldn't be too sad about abortion, because those are very dysfunctional households, and when you don't have a responsible father showing you how to be a responsible man, That's critical formation. If you have a dog that you don't love and that you abuse and that you neglect, once that dog is an adult, it's going to be very, very difficult to get that dog to be normal. You have to be doing those things in the early years of formation. It's very, very difficult to undo extremely bad habits, effects of abuse, and the effects of if you're a guy and you do not have a responsible father figure to affirm you in correct masculinity, to affirm you in what is noble qualities for a man to have, you could be very fucked up. And that's the thing. Would you weep about Ted Bundy's mother getting an abortion? She left him. She abandoned him. Okay? He did not have a woman to hold him for months. No, and he wasn't getting breastfed. Oh, I mean, they would change his diaper. They would give him a little bit of attention, but, it can be very critical for a child, a baby, to have a genuine love, Even if he was getting breastfed, it's not like the person really loves him. I mean, or showing the type of love that a mother would have. And the mother had rejected him from the get-go. She did not like the pregnancy the entire time, and she never wanted to go back and pick him up. She was forced to by, I think it was her dad, Sam Cowell or something. So, and then, on top of that, he's rejected by his mother. He has no father to show him how to be a responsible man. And then, his mother's lying to him and not even saying she's his mom. So, he doesn't even know she's his mother. They're just living together. And she's in denial, okay? And she's trying to hide, perhaps, that she's ashamed of him. She never wanted him, but also trying to hide that he's a bastard child. And trying to hide that she was sinning, sleeping with someone who didn't have any commitment and obviously didn't love her very much. If to this day we don't even know who this guy even was. But when he found out about that, I mean, he's already got mommy issues. He's already got rejection issues. Women are making fun of him at, not just women, but it hurts worse when it was coming from women, because that's just how it was. He was the butt of pranks, okay? And rejection and stuff like that. And then he also, this is also a very big deal too. He was exposed to the pornography that was in his father's greenhouse at like the age of 8 years old. So you've got mother issues, you've got rejection issues. You have no responsible male figure to look to get an idea of what being a responsible man, being affirmed in your masculinity is all about. And then you're being antagonized at school. So what happened was some sort of a demonic, he was very shy at first. He was not charming. He was clumsy. Somehow he learned how to wear a mask, and he developed some kind of a demonic ability to deceive and to get away with things like escaping from jail twice, stealing a car, tunneling through the ceiling. You would think after you escape once, I've been to jails and they do rounds multiple times a day. How the hell do you carve a freaking a hole in the ceiling when they already know you're an escape risk because you escaped once? And it's not like he was freaking 2 feet tall. It had to be a big enough hole to. They should have known something. And where did he get the knife to be digging a hole like that through the ceiling? And so he learned how to have a demonic type of miraculous way to suddenly do the only thing that was giving him any type of consolation. And so he was an unwanted pregnancy. That shit is very common. The abortion clinics, they target... Okay, before we go, John T. Scanlon was shot February 14th, Janice Ott's birthday. I discovered that shortly after the dream, and then shortly after that, there was this shooting at Parkland. I move into room 17 the day 17 dies, 17 are injured. 17 in Italian Roman numerals means I have lived, and there's usually not a 17th floor on Italian buildings because it's association with ghosts, okay? And